Well, has the Ethereum ETF been a failure? Should we all just rotate to Solana before it's too late? I'm hearing this a lot online right now that the Ethereum ETF's been some kind of failure. We heard the same thing around the Bitcoin ETF, guys. I mean, it's like people have the memories of goldfish around here. I want to talk about the Ethereum ETF. I want to look at the Ethereum charts, talk about this idea of rotating from Solana, from Ethereum over to Solana. We also have some Bitcoin news, some altcoin news. We got lots of stuff to cover. Your questions in the second half of the stream. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. And the first thing I would like to point out here is this. The NASDAQ down again. So down, the downest. Down touching the 100-day exponential moving average right now. Great. Okay, fantastic. Good one, NASDAQ. S&P 500 also losing the 50-day exponential moving average. It's down. NASDAQ down a total of 10% now. Like corrections never happen in the stock markets. It's supposed to be up only. Interestingly, this is going on. Well, that's happening. Bitcoin's up. Ha. This is not the correlation you're looking for. Fantastic. Fantastic to see. We got that. By the way, we have that video breaking down the hash ribbons for you guys coming over the weekend. Some more information on that. So watch that. It's pretty informative. I hope you'll enjoy it. Anyway, nice to see Bitcoin correlating not at all with stocks right now. Stocks getting slaughtered. Bitcoin's up, baby. That's what we like to see. We did a video for you guys recently breaking down the correlation between Bitcoin and stocks. It's pretty interesting. We have been pretty uncorrelated for a little while right now. And it's nice to see that while stocks are dumping, Bitcoin's actually pumping. Nice. Good job, Bitcoin. Good job. Okay, so yeah, we can leave there. Okay, so let's talk about Ethereum. And I know what the vibe has been like. Everybody who's holding Ethereum right now, looking at what has been happening, looking at the price of Ethereum over the last day or two, it has been bane. It has been bane. But it's exactly what happened with the Bitcoin ETF. We had that initial just savagery from grayscale outflows. And then what happens? Then we start picking up the price afterwards. This video, I don't know who this stuff's hilarious. Anyway, another great one. Life if you had never longed Ethereum. Those are the vibes this week, guys. Those are the vibes. Embrace it. Oh, goodness gracious. Pickles Cage here saying I'd be lying to you if I said this was extremely frustrating. The price action on Ethereum is outrageously bad. Dump, distribution, dump. The strains of holding multi-six-figure positions in these coins is starting to wear me down just like the market wants. Again, we've been here before. Now we have precedent. When these ETFs launch, well, the first two anyway, I don't know how future ETFs are going to go. You have to remember that when we finally get a Solana ETF, much smaller by total market cap coin, but Grayscale still has a Solana ETF product that they will bring to the market and they will dump aggressively for the first couple of weeks. Same with Chainlink, same with most other altcoins. Grayscale's been pretty deep in the space for a while, and a lot of their funds have a lot of money. And the smaller the market cap of the coin, it just kind of all filters down. They go, okay, maybe this one's a 10th the size of Ethereum. Yeah, but the Grayscale fund's also a 10th the size of their Ethereum fund, and they have enough to aggressively dump the markets for a week or two, right? Yesterday, we saw 7 Ethereum ETFs that bought over $190 million in inflows. Problem is, Grayscale's ETH had $326 million of outflows. Good job, Grayscale. Good job. We're going to come back to that momentarily. Spot ETH ETF trading volume cools in the third day, falls under $900 million. BlackRock today, we had $72.9 million of inflows. Okay. So, accounting for the BlackRock numbers, which have not been updated. Oh, not been updated on this website. Yep. We had about $150 million in outflows, again, from total numbers here. So, the good news, and I want to keep hitting this home because the good news is that 12% of the Ethereum has now exited the Grayscale fund. Great. Let's have another just savage week next week. Let's get another 20% out. And by that point, most of the bleeding will have stopped. Another week, maybe. We'll see. We shall see. Hey, real quick before we dive into the charts and this sort of Solana versus Ethereum conversation. Right now, we are seeing a huge promotion over at Bybit. So, two things here. Link down below in the description, by the way, if you want to check that out, if you are a cryptocurrency trader. One, if you sign up using that link, you deposit $100 or more, you'll get a $500 free trading position. That's for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Pepe. They've got a few other coins that are eligible for that particular promotion. And you'll get 3 lucky spins for their 100K prize pool. So there's trading funds, there's F1 tickets and stuff like that. All kinds of cool stuff. If you want to check that out, link in the description. Have a look if you're a trader, of course. Now, let's talk about the price of Ethereum. Seeing a little bit of a bounce here from the 200-day EMA. Gotta admit, I like to see that. That is nice. 2 big days of sell-off. Bounce at the 200 EMA. Not a bad place to bounce. Can we build strength on that? Will we have too many outflows next week? We'll see. The thing is, even if you have $100 million total net outflow per day, I mean, dude, Ethereum's a huge market. It can absorb that. Again, the bark usually worse than the actual bite of any of these stories. Okay? So there's that to keep in mind. And look, just perspective on where I believe we are going to go for Ethereum this cycle. We could go as high as the 3.618 Fibonacci line here, which if that plays out, it's what, 380% gains from here. Well, that's not too bad. I guess I'll take that. Like I said, anywhere over 10K, I think would be great for this cycle. If we get up to that 15K target, my man, that's going to be great. It's going to be great. Old Larky here is going to name his second yacht Ethereum. It'll be great. Anyway, we'll see, of course, if our bullish prognosis plays out over the next 12 to 18 months, 6 months. I don't know. I'm still, we keep thinking about this sort of March, April market top. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. A lot of people right now, though, saying, guys, it's time. This Ethereum ETF's been a giant failure. I'm seeing so much of the sentiment online that I know some people are just trolling, but also I think some people are seriously just so disappointed by the Ethereum ETF launches, as if they weren't here for the Bitcoin ETF launches 6 months ago, which played out exactly the same. Anyway, people say, time to rotate from Ethereum into Solana. What's the upside of that move? Well, glad you asked, because if we were to get up from the current price to the 3.6, this is just an estimate, right? We've done a video breaking down in much more detail Solana price predictions, Ethereum price predictions. Go watch the videos if you want more in-depth analysis versus what we're going to cover shortly here in the stream. Okay, but let's say we rally up to the 3.618 line for Solana. Solana's already had, I think, a big meaty part of its move. So that's 434% from here up to the top. Now, if you are, and remember, by the way, what did we just say here for Ethereum? 380%. It's not that big of a difference. Let's say it's big overperformance. We actually go all the way up to the 4.236 line. We get up to $1,100, something like that. Well, it's 530%. And I think $1,100 probably right at the top of my personal expectations for Solana this cycle. So let's say that happens. Well, you're only outperforming in this scenario because markets will largely move together. And if Ethereum moves as we think it's going to move, because, betting against Ethereum, bet against BlackRock, I don't know. It doesn't feel like the greatest proposition to me, considering everything going on in the Ethereum space right now. So if they move approximately both together forward in the market, so you're only going to outperform your Ethereum bag. So if you're an ETH holder right now and you're I'm going to sell my ETH and go buy Solana because it's going to have bigger gains, best case scenario, you're only outperforming it by 50%, something like that. Not that much, right? And then of course you have to take the capital gains tax hit now. I know you have to take it later too with the Solana stuff, but just, food for thought on the sort of rotation narrative. Again, we all wish we'd put our entire life savings and every penny of our portfolio into Solana at $20, but hey, not many of us did that, did we? Been holding those ETH bags for a while, man. Holding those ETH bags for a while. They're well in profit, but still, I can understand the frustration when people, we get these ETH ETFs. It is a bullish narrative for Ethereum, but it doesn't happen instantaneously. And the market's pretty impatient. Kyle Samani here from Multicoin saying we almost never make concrete predictions, especially to our LPs in writing. But in our annual letter, we predicted that Solana would flip Ethereum on most major on-chain metrics by the end of the year. And we specifically called out trading volume as the most important one. 5 months to go. Now, if you were going to bet that, Solana is going to flip Ethereum, that maybe Ethereum just stagnates and doesn't get up to $15,000 despite of everything else, despite all the stuff happening in Ethereum, all layer 2 stuff, despite the rising demand for ETH, and it's 10% of it's currently in layer 2s, 1/3 of it's in the staking contract. We now have ETF demand, all this stuff. Okay, you know what? None of that's going to matter, and it's going to underperform massively this cycle. We're not going to 15K, it's only going to go to 8K, for example. Well, in that case, yeah, Solana could dramatically outperform. But you're making a lot of assumptions here. Making a lot of assumptions, right? Based on that theory. And look, we've been covering the story a lot that Solana on metrics is continually outperforming Ethereum directly, and sometimes even the entire Ethereum ecosystem, right? Ignis here saying Ethereum in limbo. Ethereum failed to scale the layer 1 while Solana rapidly gains ground. By the way, just to note, we're talking about theories here, right? I'm actually quite bullish on Ethereum. I think we're going to 15,000. I was actually putting a long today on Ethereum, just a cheeky small one, nothing super crazy, okay? But still, for reference, okay? Ignis saying Ethereum failed to scale to layer 1 while Solana rapidly gains ground. And it's true. The layer 1 for Ethereum has failed to scale, and it's not going to be scaling for years to come. So that's something to keep in mind. But layer 2s are here, and they all demand ETH. He said layer 2 scaling isn't adding value to Ethereum. Low ETH burn, fragmented liquidity, worse user experience. I would disagree. I mean, like Base is great. Base has got a great user experience. Yeah, low ETH burn. That is true. That is true. A lot of transactions are moving to layer 2. Why do anything on layer 1 Ethereum when you can just go to layer 2, right? Fragmented liquidity. Yeah, liquidity is getting pretty fragmented, but again, it'll just flow to the top like it does. You can make the same argument that layer 1s fragment liquidity away from Ethereum and Solana. Well, same with layer 2s. You'll see all the liquidity going up to Base, to Arbitrum, to Mantle, maybe ZK Sync, Linea. Gosh, we're already at 5 of them. Those are the 5 top contenders, in my opinion. We still have a lot of others that are out there too. But it's interesting food for thought. Airdrop farming isn't enticing anyone, isn't enticing any more low rewards. I mean, there's still a lot of airdrop farming that can make money, but it's also getting pretty heavily diluted. So there's that to contend with as well. Gumshoe saying Solana to $320 minimum, backed by data. My last post saw some criticism for not including layer 2s in ETH. Let's compare ETH plus layer 2s with Solana. Ethereum, 30 cents of volume per $1 of TVL. Solana, $2.81 of volume per $1 of TVL. Ethereum is 4.39 times larger than Solana by fully diluted value. Solana volume represents 40% of Ethereum plus layer 2s combined. Solana is cheaper, faster, easier to use, more capital efficient, highly mispriced relative to the Ethereum ecosystem. There are so many other data points and narratives that would push this price target much higher. We'll be covering them in the future. Now, that would be, I know we covered the Fibonacci and stuff like that, but the other side of the coin would be, well, what if Solana reaches parity with Ethereum this cycle? And yeah, ETH goes to 15K, but Solana matches its market cap at the top. I mean, these are the kind of bull posting ideas that are probably going to get a lot of people in trouble when the market cycle really heats up. But interesting food for thought. How long does it take that Solana narrative to play out completely? How long does it take for Solana to really start in a much more aggressive way eating Ethereum's lunch? It's already eating some of the lunch. It's got the banana. It's eating the banana. Based on Q2's performance, Solana had 50% of ETH plus layer 2's users, 27% of its fees, 36% of its DEX volumes, and 190 of Ethereum plus layer 2 stablecoin volume. That is crazy stablecoin volume. Today, Solana's DEX volume flipped Ethereum's, even if you take into account ETH plus layer 2s. It's up from about 36 to 57% in merely weeks, just a matter of time. For Solana's DEX volume will flip ETH plus layer 2s, the meme coins. Fancy, which is the best performance this cycle, along with other metrics. But Solana is still trading at 20% of ETH's market cap with monster growth. You see, if Ethereum, again, let's just say Solana goes up in the next 6 months to hit Ethereum's current market cap. That gets it up to about $1,000 per coin, something like that. And then do we have this sort of the big boys fighting it out with relatively similar market caps? I feel like Solana's still a long way away from that, but things can change real fast in this market. They sure can. Again, we're just talking about theories here. It's interesting to think about. Smiley Capital saying probable sequence of events wouldn't be the first time, speaking purely high time frame here. And these kind of conversations, and we're having a fun conversation here, but these kind of conversations can really make you think about this. People give up on Ethereum, eventually calling it a failed underperformer. After Bitcoin is done with most of its parabola in Q4, Q1, they will capitulate into performing Bitcoin plus Sol plus random altcoins. Shortly thereafter, ETH will pull a monster move that puts Bitcoin and most altcoins to shame. Unfortunately, majority will be underexposed. They will sell their altcoins to allocate into ETH close to the top. You've seen this before, haven't you? ETH lifts altcoins, kickstarts euphoria. Alt sees the majority is underexposed to altcoins. They chase alts at the top. Everybody loses all their damn money, except for the smart people. Of course, as always. Anyway, did this highly scientific poll over here on Twitter. We currently have about 2,000 votes on it. Can Solana flip Ethereum market cap this cycle? 1 in 3 saying yes. That's pretty interesting. 41% saying no. 15% on the what are you smoking camp, and 7% just don't care. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, Bitcoin doing things. Did we get to 67,000? Oh, we did, didn't we? Did we get to 67K? We did. I think we did. Nice move here for Bitcoin. Very nice. Now, I guess that means that we've taken profits on our trade on Apex we put in yesterday. Right? Remember, we put that one on stream about $64,500. Longed it up to 66. So, yay. That was just for our for fun portfolio, right? The $17 profits. All right, cool, man. That was just a front example. Anyway, cool to see. Great to see Bitcoin rallying while stocks are melting down. In terms of Bitcoin ETF flows for the day, oh, interesting. 0 across the board. We don't have BlackRock numbers yet. 39 million out from Grayscale. Yesterday was a positive day. Again, BlackRock holding up the market here for ETFs. We had $44 million positive inflows. Crazy stuff. Crazy how much money is coming out of Grayscale over time, isn't it? Can't wait for that to just not be a story anymore. No more Grayscale Bitcoin. Just get it out of there. Okay, anyway, huge amounts already flowed out. It's been absolutely insane. Look at that, $18 billion out of the Grayscale Bitcoin so far. Anyway, we'll see what the numbers are for BlackRock here at the end of the day. Maybe we get a positive day, maybe we don't. But I mean, goodness gracious, we had like 2 weeks of basically $2 billion of positive inflows. So we're doing pretty good. Right now, we're standing at $17.5 billion net inflows for Bitcoin ETF products since they've started trading. It's not bad, is it? I wanted to share this one with you. Josh Rager here saying, stirring the pot. People would lose their minds if that was just a lower high for Bitcoin. Oh, they would lose their minds. The timeline's going to be a mess if that happens. Anyway, Bitcoin monthly chart can't get more bullish. I mean, look at this. Is this all just one giant monthly bull flag? We'll see. Very interesting to see where the chart is right now. And what's up, Adam? Nice to see you, man. It's very interesting to see, look at this, the monthly chart. Monthly charts are so interesting because really the day-to-day, people out here looking at like the 1 hour charts and like, what are you doing looking at the 1 hour charts, man? People are out here looking at the 1 hour charts, driving themselves crazy. The 15-minute chart, I had the dude ask me the other day, like, what would you rather use, the 1 minute or the 5 minute charts? I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why would you use the 1 minute or the 5 minute charts? Do you hate your life? Anyway, daily charts for me, man. Daily charts. Keep it chill, guys, okay? Bitcoin monthly charts, very interesting. Paints a very different picture from how we've felt recently. Things don't look so crazy there, do they? No, they do not. No, they do not. Daily EMA ribbon flipping bullish again. Moonshare in this chart. Interesting to note. Interesting to note. Look at what happened last time we flipped the EMA ribbons. Just saying. Just saying. A lot of interesting things lining up. The hash ribbon buy signal, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Bitcoin Golden Cross looming. This is very interesting. It's actually on the weekly charts. So Titan and Crypto pointing this one out, saying we've never in history seen a golden cross involving the 100-week moving average and the 200-week moving average in history. Now, we got a very, very close call back in early 2017. Of course, massive parabolic run from $500 to $20,000 after that. Not saying that's going to happen. Those numbers are too big for the current market cap. But what's interesting, we did for the first time get a death cross back in was that late 23 or something like that, which of course ended up being a fake out because the market rallied like crazy afterwards. But we've built momentum back into the market. Now we're actually getting a golden cross coming in post Bitcoin halving. Is it an interesting time for a major market rally coming into Q4 of the year? And every time I go to X, all I see is doom and gloom. The sky is falling and it's all going to be over soon. Real estate collapse is coming. The economic collapse is coming. The economy is going to crap. And I didn't get a chance to look at it. Somebody mentioned something about it. I didn't get a chance to go and look and verify, but I think the Q2 numbers came in for the U.S. economy, and the economy grew like 2.5% or something like that. So, I mean, you're not exactly going to have a recession with those kind of numbers, are you? No. Sorry, recession callers. It just keeps not happening. We're waiting. And that makes it, of course, very, very, very unlikely that something absolutely just crazy shit hits the fan in the next few months, which it always can. Makes it super unlikely that we're going to get rate cuts in September happening during a recession. Rate cuts in September are looking like an almost certainty. In fact, the chances of a 50 basis point or 0.5% rate cut in September, the chances of that are soaring currently because there is so much. It's wild right now. Think like the economic situation for the U.S. It's like this juggernaut hurtling towards a cliff, and Jerome Powell understands that unless he starts turning the wheel, they're going to go off the cliff. They haven't got there yet. More people keep getting on. Things look good. Plenty of fuel left in the tank. But they got to turn. Otherwise, chaos. Chaos is coming. Okay, we'll cover this one. And then we had a few altcoin stories. Nothing crazy. Maybe we'll talk about that stuff on Monday. We've got a lot in here already. And then we're going to hop into your questions. I want to go too long without getting into the question and answer segment. Now, this one was very interesting. This one's from Crypto Coins and showing great charts recently. These are Fibonacci ratios. Fibonacci ratios can be used more than just for price. Here I've applied them to time for Bitcoin. When we draw our retraces at the halvings, we get near perfect first and second cycle top date predictions for the past two cycles at the red 0.236 and orange 0.382. The first cycle works as well, but only when drawn from starting April 2012, strangely. The retraces also give us the dates for the cycle bottom and for the first early top. Our next halving is projected to be on March 2028. So here are the important upcoming dates based on this information. This is very interesting. First market top, March 2025. Now, we have talked about this in an increasing amount recently, that much like in 2021, we could see a first major market top in March or April of 25. Will it be the final top of the market? I think macro is going to dictate a lot of that. But certainly, it could be a first major top. We get up to 150K, something like that, right? And then we go back down and we're going to have this period of just pain and suffering and all that kind of stuff we love to see in the markets. And then a final top in October 2025, basically keeping with the 4-year cycle. Interesting if that plays out like that. Bear market bottom, September 2026. So if you sell in March 2025, you'll probably be okay. If you sell in October 2025, if you wait that long, it's more risks than uncertain. Everything's uncertain, of course, in markets. Just whenever you sell, just remember, set your watch. come back in late 2026 and see what's happening. First early top for the next cycle, May 2027. And we repeat again. And reminder, you're either going to sell in 2025 at some point, or you're probably going to watch all your profits evaporate, all those numbers on your screen, especially when they get really crazy, when the market gets really crazy and you think you're a genius, and you're shopping for property in Monaco or whatever, in Dubai, and thinking I'm a genius. Look at me, going to buy a new car, going to buy a Rolex, all the stuff. It's only going to go up more and more and more. I should buy more. In fact, I should buy more. I shouldn't buy the Rolex and the Lamborghini yet. I should just go buy more because I'm a genius. That's when you should probably sell. Take it from experience, guys. Okay, anyway, we're going to leave that there for today. Like I said, I got a few more things I wanted to talk to you guys about, but we'll maybe cover that stuff on Monday, if it's still relevant, of course. Let's do some questions. What do you guys want to talk about? Chris says, most likely won't see a double top this cycle, as the next leg up is the fifth and final wave of the move. I would not be surprised, Chris. I would not be surprised. I feel like that's one of those things that if I see, let's say early 2025, market topping out, getting really crazy, I might sell and walk away, guys. Might be time. Remember, we talked about this yesterday, but it's really worth repeating. When the Pi cycle top indicator flashed in early 2021, had you simply sold on that day or within the next 2 weeks all your altcoins and walked away, sold everything and walked away, you would have been just fine. You didn't have to stick around for that highly speculative second top, which there was no certainty that was coming. Right? Markets are crazy. But we got the El Salvador stuff. We had the catalyst. Things got exciting. Bada bing, bada boom. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. We got up to 69K. But obviously that was, markets being gracious to us and giving us a second chance there. So yeah, JDB, you can go to lookintobitcoin.com, although it's actually now Bitcoin Magazine Pro. Apparently Bitcoin Magazine bought lookintobitcoin.com's website, so that's cool. But anyway, you could have walked away in April 2021 and just not thought about crypto until you saw FTX crash headlines and thought, you know what, I should probably buy some more Bitcoin, some more whatever coins that I want, because that was the bottom of the market. It's interesting. I don't know, maybe not many of you guys weren't around, or you just weren't as dialed in back then, but back in August of 2022, BlackRock actually launched a private Bitcoin fund, only for their high net worth customers, not for plebs, right? That's what the Bitcoin ETFs are for their private money customers to have exit liquidity. That's how the game's played. Don't hate the player, man. Hate the game. It's what it is. Okay. But BlackRock almost perfectly timed the bottom with the release of their private Bitcoin fund. The FTX thing, that was a wild card they weren't expecting. They weren't expecting one of the biggest exchanges in the cryptocurrency industry running massive fraud. And so the price went a little bit lower than when the guys at BlackRock launched that fund, but they almost timed the bottom of the market with that. Anyway, Chris, it's definitely a good theory, and it's definitely something worth keeping in mind on that the next massive leg up, however long that lasts, could be the final wave in the cycle. Watch out for the Pi cycle. Watch out for other stuff, okay? Will you be helping us with those signals when the time comes? I mean, when that Pi signal top indicator comes, I will be shouting from the rooftops, guys. Don't worry. We'll be talking about it nonstop. Other channels shilling Ondo. Does anyone know why? No idea. I guess they got bags. I understand why people are excited about what Ondo is doing. From my understanding, just the governance token. Governance tokens are kind of meh. I own some governance tokens from different things, and believe me, they're kind of meh. By the way, I don't own Ondo, but I do own lots of other cryptocurrencies that we may talk about, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you'd like to see my full portfolio disclosures, you can find those down below in the description here on YouTube. The pinned comment over on X also has that. You'll see my current holdings, my private sale investments, all that kind of stuff. And very importantly, there's a risk statement there that will let you know that investing in crypto is risky. You can lose all your money. Take it seriously. Read the risk statement. Okay. Especially if you're new around here. These markets are crazy. All right. This week, I have no idea. I don't care what happens to the price of Bitcoin this week. I'm not thinking too much about the price of Bitcoin this week, to be honest. It's I'm thinking what's going to happen this cycle. Big game. I don't care what the price of Bitcoin ends up being this week. Catherine, hi. Nice to see you. Thanks for your professionalism. Been a follower for years. We try. Hey, Lark, just watched the Coin Bureau video on how BRICS currency can destroy the US dollar. Futures not look good for the US and recession come after BRICS officially launched the currency. Yeah, we've done a few videos on that as well. It's an interesting topic, without a doubt. We shall see. The big thing is the US has some real strategic issues when it comes to the dollar. It's been the weaponization of the dollar, which, if you're going to have a global reserve currency, you start picking who can or can't. I mean, Russia's now the fourth biggest economy in the world, and they're largely cut off from the global financial system because of US sanctions and all that kind of stuff, and they're dropping the US dollar. China sees what's going on. China understands the aggressive rhetoric coming from Washington. They're worried they might be next. So what's China been doing? China's been dumping US treasuries. Understandably so. You have one country there that's saying constantly, they're a big threat, they're the best, whatever, blah, 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 blah. We're going to have a war with them. And so China goes, well, I guess we probably shouldn't be holding truckloads of your debt then, should we? If that's the case, because I saw what you just did to Russia, and we don't want to have billions of dollars of our money seized in case something happens. The U.S. is kind of shooting itself in the foot to an extent with these political moves that it's been making. Plus, so that's one thing. Plus, you have to think globally, all these people have to use the US dollar, but the Federal Reserve hasn't been a great steward of it. Massive inflation, massive debasement of the currency. Plus, the United States is $35 trillion in debt. How do they pay that? Honestly, ask yourself, how do they pay that? Especially when interest payments start reaching, well, the number one line item now in US budget, aren't they? Even ahead of defense. So now you've got $1 trillion a year of interest payments, something like that. Where does that end up? What do they do to get out of this? It's either defaulting on their debt, which is going to screw over all these debt holders globally, or it's massive money printing. If the United States has to print $35 trillion to pay off all their debts, the dollar ends up being worth very little in that situation. Where's the way out? Pay down your debts. How are they going to pay down $35 trillion if they're running a $2 trillion a year, whatever interest deficit or a budget deficit? The numbers don't make sense, guys. And it doesn't look good. And I wish nothing bad on America or American people. I just need to make that very, very clear. I've got a lot of family in America, and, I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody, because when this happens, if this happens, I hope it doesn't happen. I hope America finds a way to figure this out so that there isn't some kind of massive monetary debasement event, an accelerated, because monetary debasement events happening right now every single day. It's death by 1,000 cuts, but it's the quick ones. That's one that really screws everybody up. Michael says, Pi cycle top indicator is not a definite indicator. Absolutely, Michael. I agree. 100%. Look, the truth with any indicator, nothing can be relied on 100%. The price could top out before then, and we have to watch. We have to be open to these possibilities, okay? It's very easy to get wedded to, okay, for example, I can only sell when this happens. Right now, for example, the 3.618 fib line lines up with $215,000. So I tell myself, I'm not taking any profits on anything until Bitcoin is $215,000, and it only goes to 167, for example, this cycle, and I sell nothing, and I ride on my bags back down 90%. Why? Okay, you got to be open. You got to be open to different theories, and you have to challenge yourself constantly in this market. Okay, so yeah, good point, Michael. Oh, where are we up to? What do you think about NFT marketplaces this cycle? I could really care less about NFTs, to be honest. I've got a few. They're fun. I like NFT technology. I think they've got great use cases like in-game items and stuff like that. In terms of like NFT marketplaces, I don't care. As investments, like I'm not looking there at all. And look, I know NFTs are taking off on like Solana again in particular, and they're pretty big on Polygon right now and other places, but I don't really care that much about NFTs. I've got a lot of other things to think about. You don't have to be everywhere all the time, guys. Watch my video from yesterday. one of the things, if you're getting started in these markets or you've been around the markets for a while, it's a good refresher. You don't have to be everywhere all the time. Okay, that's a mistake a lot of people make. I know maybe you're just like super into NFTs, but just not my scene, man. This is a very good one, Vitruvian Man. Watch for when BlackRock starts mass sell-offs of Bitcoin. That's when the top will be. Amen. If you start seeing $500 million outflow days from BlackRock consistently, pay attention, right? And that's when the price is high, right? Because, for example, when we dropped down in April, we dropped down to $54,000, something like that. And there was a $500 million outflow day from BlackRock or Bitcoin ETFs more broadly. And that was probably a lot of the retail money that was in those ETF products. The institutional players tend to be a little more savvy. Watch for when the price is at like 150 or 180K or something, and you see a $500 million or $1 billion outflow day from BlackRock. I mean, warning signs. Danger, 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 Will Robinson. I'm not that old, but that stuff used to play on the TV in the 90s when I was growing up. Those old programs from the 60s and 70s. I always liked watching the Star Trek stuff from back in the day. Like there's that one episode where there's the old Captain Kirk, right? What's that guy's name? The old Captain Kirk, and he's like fighting this lizard guy on this planet, and it's great old school sci-fi stuff. Love it. Anyway, what do you think of rolling all your crypto profits into Tesla in mid 2025 or so? I mean, look, not financial advice. You'll do what you want to do with your money. My thought would be, if it was me, probably not something I would do. Now, I'm a fan of Tesla and what they're doing, and I would probably like to own some Tesla stocks. I don't own any currently, but I would like to buy some in the next stock bear market, along with some Meta. I know, but Meta's been doing some crazy stuff with their AI, man. Definitely a stock to watch out for. So I'll buy some US tech stocks in the next financial meltdown. That'll be fantastic. But you have to think, if you've just taken a bunch of profits on your crypto, right? You're going to owe a lot of tax, first and foremost. Do not forget about that, because the tax man's not going to forget about you. Okay, so you paid all your taxes. Now what? You got, let's say you got $1 million sitting there, right? So you take $1 million, you throw it all into Tesla in mid 2025, and then what? 2026, liquidity starts getting pulled out of the markets melt down, new bear market comes in. The same things, the same risk-off attitudes that are going to crush crypto are also going to crush tech stocks, in my opinion. So I feel like it's one of those things to be like going from the frying pan into the fire, so to speak. And you might be better served by sitting in cash for a while. And again, not financial advice, and you make your own decisions, but sharing my thoughts on what I would do if I was in such a situation. But that would be my thought. Okay. Lark, could you recommend them some secure hardware wallets for storing your cryptocurrency? I just got this today. This is very exciting. This is the new Ledger. I'm one of the first ones to actually get it, I think. Ledger hardware wallets are great. I've been using them for years. I've got the Ledger Nano X that I use on a day-to-day basis, but I'm pretty excited to get this bad boy hooked up and try it out soon. So there's a link if you want to get yourself a Ledger. Again, it's the one I've been using. There's lots of great ones out there, though. There's Engrave, there's Trezor, lots of different models out there. So, but I've been using Ledger for years. I'm pretty happy with it. So, would you still like Brenji if you were not a brand ambassador? Well, you got Adam. The thing is, I owned a bag of spot Benji before I became a brand ambassador, right? So I liked it before, and I still think the dog on base narrative is something that can catch on when we get more market enthusiasm and a little more euphoria kicking into the market, especially on base in particular. Okay. Oh, we got to catch up in the chat here. Lark, will we see altcoins crash one more time? I mean, how much farther do you now need them down to go? I mean, I don't know, man. Look, the altcoin markets are high risk, right? Crypto's high risk. Altcoins are higher risk. Mid caps are higher risk than that. Low caps are higher risk than that. Meme coins are higher risk than that. Okay. Understand that. So if you're, I don't know what the intention is. Are you hoping to sell and buy back later? Don't know. So I don't know how it's going to work out for you. A lot of altcoins are down pretty dramatically compared to all-time highs, and we haven't had any major altcoin seasons. We have mini altcoin seasons. We've had, of course, an extended meme coin season, especially for certain meme coins. We had an AI season earlier this year. We had an AVAX season earlier this year. And we're going to have a lot of this stuff come back around again. We'll have gaming season, hopefully, for my gaming bags at some point. We'll have a great kick for that. Lark, do you think that Ethereum needs to concentrate on what it can be unburdened by what it has been? Amen to that, man. Of course, obviously, that's the strategy. Check Liquid Finance, never heard. Maybe I've heard of it, but I have no idea. Soul Chat, I have no idea what that is. Yeah, I think I've seen someone mention it somewhere on like a tweet or something. I have no idea what some of these things you guys get into are. What are your targets on synthetics for the bull run this year? I have no target on SNX. I haven't thought about it much in a couple of years. I don't know what's going on with the new token burn. It's nice to see inflation ending. I know that synthetics has been a pretty major staple for, the DeFi space for quite a while. They've done lots of cool stuff. So, yeah, definitely if you're into like blue chip DeFi, synthetics is something to look at for sure. But I think if I was to be getting any blue chip DeFi stuff, it would probably be Maker. Everything I'm reading about Maker recently would make me want to get that if I was to get into something, although I may not get into that either. I might just keep doubling down on existing stuff. And really, I'm not going to be putting a lot more money into the market from here moving forward. I'm pretty well packed. Now I just need things to keep playing out. Lark, me and my buddy Brian want to join you on the yacht for a weekend after we all cash out. Sounds good, James. Sounds good, man. We should do like a crypto Lark yacht party or something after the market tops in. Okay. Lark, think we're going to have any bull market 50% flash crashes like last bull run? I mean, anything's possible. Never say never in crypto, man, because you'll get proven wrong very quickly. Look, a 50% flash crash is going to require some very specific catalyst to happen. And I don't know. It's let's not invoke those demons, okay? Did you know there's a planet between Mars and Jupiter called Ceres? Like WTF, how didn't I know that? It's super interesting, actually. Yeah, it's not technically a planet. It's a dwarf planet, okay? There's actually quite a few dwarf planets out there, which is actually interesting. I can't remember how many of those celestial bodies there are in the solar system, but there's a few. And yeah, go look at pictures of it online. There's pictures of some of those dwarf planets. It's like, oh, it's a little like, dwarf planets out there. Kind of cute. And of course, the real question is there a planet X out there? Is there a Nibiru out there, which is something that's been long rumored to be a planet deep, deep out in the solar system? Not to say it's going to be the giant planet full of aliens like some people might think that it is, but just a celestial body that's much farther out that we're just, for whatever reason, not seeing. Now, scientists have detected by what we can see moving around in the asteroid belts out there that there is some large celestial body out there. Whether it's that or just another dwarf planet remains to be seen, but certainly interesting. Anyway, we're getting off in the weeds here, guys. But yeah, planets are cool, man. I can't wait to start exploring space more. Although, as I've said, I'm trying to convince my son already. Like, Mars isn't actually that cool. Okay, it's just boring red rocks and not really that much there to see. He's like, if he moves to London, that's already far enough. If he moves to frickin' Mars, man, like, come on. I have to fly to Mars once every year or something to go see my kid. I'm not in it. Not keen on it. Daniel says, I don't understand why Grayscale are selling so much Bitcoin and Ethereum into the ETFs. Look, the reason is because Grayscale, I really don't understand what their play is here. It's just such a stupid thing to me. I guess Grayscale has so many short-term debts that they're trying to get short-term fees. So The Grayscale Bitcoin fee is 1.5%. The Grayscale Ethereum fee is 2.5%. These are rates that are about 10x higher than the industry average for comparable ETF offerings from BlackRock and Fidelity, for example. So the bet that Grayscale is making is that enough people will stay in because they don't want to take the capital gains hit now, and then they'll lower their fees in a year or two or something like that. But enough people will stay in because they don't want to take the capital gains hit that they can get that 1.5% fee. And even if half of the people leave from the Grayscale Bitcoin ETF, they're still making more than if they had charged everybody 0.2%, right? Because effectively, then they're getting like 0.8% if half the people leave. Quick back of the napkin math there, but you get the idea. It's a weird play, but I guess that's what they've decided to do, be as extractive as possible from their fees. And that is why a lot of people are leaving. And so you'll see $300 million of outflows from the Ethereum Grayscale Trust ETF now. And that'll mostly go into like BlackRock, Fidelity, because people just don't want to be paying the 2.5% fees. They'd rather pay 0.2% fees. But it's a good question, Daniel. Why exactly Grayscale is doing it like they are? It's weird, but that is what they are doing. So, Lark, do you think that AI coins should be held even after the bull run? Again, not financial advice. I can't tell you what to do with your coins, but my guess, and what I'm personally doing, I'm not going to hold any altcoins after after I think the market's getting tippity toppity. Okay, we're going to get out of all of it. AI coins. Look, when the bear market comes, the bear is a savage beast. It spares no coin. Liquidity is going to dry up across the board. And even your favorite coins, those altcoins you think are like the new paradigm money and are doing super cool things, whatever. If you're lucky when the bear market comes, your altcoin's only going to go down like 80 to 90%. If you're unlucky, your altcoin goes down 99.99999%. And a lot of them will just go down like 91 to 99%. Okay. And some of those will come back in the next cycle, but a lot of the altcoins will dry up. Liquidity will dry up so bad that a lot of teams will just give up and walk away. We're dealing with startups here, guys. This is what happens. This is the game. You can either accept this as the game and fight it. And people sometimes ask, well, Lark, why aren't you holding that coin that you invested in years ago? Because this is what happens with altcoins, man. It's a savage, brutal game where a lot of these things do not survive long term. It's crypto. It's a crazy game out here, okay? You have to understand that. So a lot of AI coins, they're probably going to get absolutely wrecked in the bear market, like beyond wrecked, super wrecked. Might be some good buying opportunities for some of the strong ones. Things like Render, for example, might be at a great discount in the bear market. You know, if you love it now, you should love it when it's 90% down from its current prices in the bottom of the bear market, right? But in terms of holding those, for what purpose? For what purpose? You're going to watch your coin that you bought now for $1 and it goes to $20 and it's going to go back down to 50 cents or maybe $1 if you're lucky. So you break even at the bottom of the bear market. If you're really bullish on that coin, why not take some profits on the way up so you have some cash? You can actually buy more of it during the bear market. That's a crazy idea. Okay, one or two more here, guys. We're going to be finishing up for today. Do you think there'll be civil unrest after the U.S. election, irrespective of who wins? I hope not, Adam. I really do. You know, American politics have become so toxic and divided. Glad I don't live in America, guys. Just going to throw it out there. It's getting pretty crazy over there these days, man. You look in and I feel like people are more divided than they've ever been in the USA. And that's unfortunate. You know, it's I hope that some, you know, more peace and unity can start prevailing across the country so people can focus on solving the big problems instead of just, you know, my team's winning or my team's winning and your team sucks or your team sucks. You know how it is. I hope there's no civil unrest. I hope that the election goes off nice and normal and there's no sort of questioning of the results or anything like that. That'd be nice. Do you think that XRP can be in a good zone for some reasonable gains this leg up? I mean, I don't know. look, I know there's a lot of XRP fans out there, and it's got a lot deep liquidity, huge listing across exchanges. And I think if they win they get a decisive settlement with the SEC over everything. That presents them a good opportunity this cycle to actually have some price appreciation, maybe some new price discovery. I'm not super into XRP. I don't think about it that much. I don't look at the charts almost ever. In terms of being a gem, I mean, my goodness gracious, it's hard to consider XRP as a gem when the market cap is, where are we at here? $33 billion. So I mean, what are you expecting out of XRP? I mean, a decent coin to trade, deep liquidity, again, good charts in terms of, being well established and all that stuff. So lots of trading opportunities there, but I'm not sure it's going to be like something that's going to 50x or something crazy like that in terms of being a gem. Maybe our definition of gem is a bit different, but anyway, that's my kind of thoughts on XRP. Not the biggest XRP fan. Wishing your bag's the best and that you make a lot of money off of XRP, obviously. But I think when we get the settlement with the SEC, that could provide XRP with some real wind in the sails, so to speak. Let me see. You know what, guys? I think we're gonna. I've got lots. Someone's spamming the chat. I think we're gonna end it up there. Paolo, peace, and everybody else, peace. Have a great weekend. Get out, touch some grass. Don't worry too much about the charts are doing. We're gonna be fine, guys. I'll see you next week. Of course, watch the videos of the weekends. We got some great stuff coming over the weekend for you guys. Some Bitcoin price predictions, some market price predictions, some hash rate videos. We got great stuff. So make sure you check those out. But then touch grass after you check those videos out. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.